Hello, busy professionals, and welcome to the You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast. In this episode, we speak with Cesar Verm from IHG Luxury Brands. Now, a lot of us think of IHG and we think of the Intercontinental hotels, that luxury hotel, but there's so much more. So let's take a listen.
Welcome to the You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast, where we help busy professionals with valuable tips and inspiration to plan their next luxury vacation. Your host is Belvin Baldwin II, an award-winning travel advisor and owner of Showtime Travel. He will educate and entertain you on this journey by speaking with some of the top luxury travel suppliers. So let's get started, because you deserve a luxury vacation.
Hello, Cesar, and welcome to You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast. How are you doing?
Doing great, Belvin. Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here and, looking forward to the chat.
All right. Well, great. Well, I'm glad you're here. We are really excited, to discuss IHG Luxury. And I have the man right here, Cesar. So first of all, before we start, what is your role with IHG? And tell me, for the people out there, what do the acronyms stand for?
Yeah, it's a great one. So, IHG is, Intercontinental Hotels Group, and we go by IHG Hotels and Resorts. So certainly something that, a lot of people within our industry, of course, knows, but sometimes when people hear, hey, what is IHG? So yeah, thanks for asking. So it speaks to the company we are, right? That we're truly globally, really all over the globe in different hemispheres. So that's certainly something we're very proud, and we continue to grow from an international perspective. From my perspective, my job is fairly simple from the scope that I work with a group of hotels, currently with the company managed hotels that include a lot of the luxury and lifestyle properties, to really drive as much revenue as possible, right? So we collaborate with hotels, we collaborate with our global sales teams, and really figure out ways, understanding each hotel, each market, how we can help, each property deliver the best possible top line. And of course, at the end of the day, similar to the job you do, is just making sure we're taking care of the guests, right?
Exactly.
Delivering a great experience, making that experience really special so they keep returning and we become their partner of choice.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Good to know. I mean, bottom line is always the customers in any business. So when it comes to IHG, what are the luxury brands in your portfolio?
Yeah. So at IHG, we break our luxury and lifestyle together, right? Because we believe that they complement and supplement each other. And there's a lot of luxury that's happening as well, especially nowadays, more and more through the lifestyle perspective, right? As people continue to, you probably see this every day, just try to get the very unique experiences that they can't get, in many places. So we have 6 brands within those that category. So we have 6 Senses that we added over the last couple of years. We purchased them. They're really focused on providing experiences out of the ordinary. Really, as the name says, right, 6 Senses, really putting people in touch with themselves and recharging and, being very in touch with the elements of each location. Then, of course, we have the Regent Hotels, which is focused on modern luxury. Also a brand that was added recently to our portfolio. We purchased them a few years ago. By our name, we have Intercontinental Hotels.
Exactly.
Resorts, which happens to be the largest luxury brand actually in the globe. So we have over 200 hotels open. I know you recently had a meeting with several of your partners, so you got to experience. So that's something we're very proud, and a lot of work being done on the brand. And then the other three, also there's a recent one that's called Vignette Collection. We currently launched that really to fill a white space that, you know, each of these hotels have very unique DNA that, you know, they are very focused on their local history, social aspect, and so they're all very designed. So it's really a collection of hotels, and we've been opening hotels, you know, very recently, and some awesome additions to our brand. And then of course Kingston, that's a very popular lifestyle brand, really focused on a different way to stay. And lastly, also Hotel Indigo, that is really our focus, is to make travel inspiring. So these are the 6 brands that we have within the category, and you know, each of them very different. And this has been a big focus for us, Belvin, over the last few years. So as I mentioned, several of these brands are fairly recent to our luxury lifestyle collection portfolio. So this is something that we saw as an opportunity to, you know, provide a better experience and more options to our possible guests.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I'm happy that, you know, we stayed recently at the Intercontinental Buckhead in Atlanta, and what an amazing experience. You know, if you have not visited that hotel yet, you're doing yourself a disservice. So it is a great luxury stay right in the heart of Buckhead in Atlanta. You know, I'm glad you kind of spoke about all the different styles of luxury under the IHG portfolio. What, if you could define luxury, I guess, in one way? I mean, you have 6 different ways there, but what is kind of the minimum standard when it comes to luxury, defined by IHG?
Right. So it's an interesting one, right? There's a lot of definitions, and probably everyone you ask may have a little different take. But, you know, for us at IHG, when you're talking about luxury, we really think about a couple of things, right? One is the design. So really make sure that each of these brands and each of the hotel have a distinctive design, okay, that is very unique to their respective brands. And then, of course, also that's very important is the unforgettable service combined with extraordinary experiences, right? So that's how we define that. So regardless what brand you go, the reason, right, the different personas that we deal with, I'm sure you and your colleagues, right, as a travel agent, owner, or your team members, you know, doesn't matter, you know, how rich they are or what personas of traveler they are all looking for something different. But we believe that having a, you know, very distinctive design, you know, alongside with, you know, a fantastic service that deliver really extraordinary experiences defines luxury for us from that perspective.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because when you look into it, when you first enter a hotel, especially a luxury hotel, you want that all factor. And that all factor gives it to you. And that's the look you were talking about. And then, you know, after your stay, you really look at, oh, the quality of service I received, you know, even it's the little things of just remembering my name, you know, those little things really go a long way. Now, speaking of, you know, you discussed your different luxury brands under IHG. So let's talk about what brands attract the unique type of clients or travelers. So each brand kind of attracts a different style of customer. Am I correct? So kind of give us an overview of that.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great tie-in from the branding perspective, right? Because if you look, we want to make sure that whenever we add a new brand to our hotel, to our portfolio, we just don't add a brand hotels just for the sake of adding. We want to make sure that it's clear, right? It's distinctive, that customer gets it, right? Whenever they think of a brand or they stay somewhere, they say, okay, I get this. And it's not that, okay, what is what, right? They're confused. And we believe we have that. So for example, on the six senses, if you look from an average rate perspective, is truly the leader from a luxury perspective, right? Really drive very high ADRs. And that is really focused on providing, you know, wellness offerings and experiences that are really out of the ordinary. You know, each hotel has this focus on rejuvenating, reconnecting, and really creating a place where people, you know, can be in harmony and, you know, also with the local environment. So that will attract people, of course, that, you know, have a good income from that perspective, but more importantly, really is focused on wellness, right? On being in harmony and focus on experiencing each destination for what it is, right? A lot of the travels that you've done recently, that you shared in your profile, and you've done great videos, is with that intent, right? It's just really getting to know, right? And when you have that connection, I'm sure that brings a fantastic feeling inside, right?
Yeah, you think of I'm thinking spa, yoga, you know, just relaxation.
Yeah.
Getting away from the hustle and bustle. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so that's, you know, so that's six senses, right? Then if you look at Regent, is really from, you know, a modern luxury, where you know, we have that on you know, gateway cities, you have that in, you know, also in resorts destination.
okay.
But it's really, you know, serene touches, you know, thoughtful contrasts, and is really, you know, where people want to experience luxury without being stuffy.
Right. Okay. I can understand that.
Yeah. So that's kind of that the take on Regent.
Okay.
You know, and then from an Intercontinental perspective, believe is one that appeals for, you know, a fairly broad amount, you know, folks out there that's really living that, you know, intercontinental life, you know, having the glamour, the exhilaration of the destinations, in international. They have the international know-how. They you know, they also look for that local culture, wisdom. So that's something that, you know, and for example, a lot of our hotels have historic buildings, landmarks, you know, very immersive resorts. So that's how it's brought to life.
Right. When I think of Intercontinental, I'm also not only the luxury brand, but you can, it's almost like a vacation along with if you were going for business as well. So you kind of can mix the two with that Intercontinental.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so with Intercontinentals, like, travel should always be alluring. That's our thing there. Yeah.
Okay.
And then from a vignette collection is really focused on, you know, that experience that people were always like that really like to travel for life, right?
Okay.
There's people that they're always traveling to find that new experience, to really find that local kind of flavor. So that always provide a new choice. You know, they can, you know, really being authentic, experimental spaces.
Right.
So that's kind of the area there. And then Kimpton, you know, as we discussed, is, you know, really is the first kind of brand out there with, you know, a lifestyle luxury.
Okay. Yeah.
Where it's very, very focused on being effortless, engagement with customers, you know, vibrant communities, partnership that really bring the human connections from each destination to life, with, you know, partnerships where they have, you know, local coffee roasters partnerships, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that Kimpton. I think I visited the Kimpton South Beach and the Kimpton in Chicago. Great properties.
Properties.
Yes.
We have great properties there. You're 100% right. You know, and then of course Hotel Indigo, that, you know, really is focused on making that, you know, travel inspiring. That brand has grown a lot over the years. We have, I believe, 124 properties in the pipeline already.
Okay.
And that also is really bringing the local history, the local elements to life. So what's interesting, whenever you go into Hotel Indigo, you're going to notice the design. There is full of like local elements that has a historical component, has a very important meaning to the destination. So it's very subtle, but very impactful, where really brings that connection and you know, makes each hotel very, very unique.
Yes, yes, indeed. I've seen the Indigo come a long way. I mean,
Yep.
you know, I've seen them, you know, grow as I travel all around. So
Yes.
you start seeing more and more of the Indigos out there. Now, with that being said, a lot of people go on vacations, or on vacations, and they stay in the room, but they're looking for experiences. You know, it's more than just staying, you know, sleeping in the room. What are, you know, just name, you don't have to name everyone, but what are some unique experiences that people can participate when they stay at one of the IHG luxury hotels?
Got it. Yeah. Listen, it's a great point, Belvin. As you probably see, you know, more and more with your customers, that's a lot of the asks and wishes from guests that are staying with us, right? They want to make sure that, hey, okay, I love your hotel, I love the F&B, the offerings, but also I want more, right? I want to explore, I want to have that unique experience, explore the destination.
Right.
So I think that's where first there's a nice tie-in with your business, right? Because, you know, you and like travel partners bring a ton of know-how, knowledge, and resources from that perspective. But of course, a lot of our hotels, you know, have partnerships. They have unique engagement from a local level that provides, you know, access to, you know, very exclusive experiences. So it could be, you know, anything from a traditional outing in the ocean, experience on the beach, luau, you know, a specific, very unique spa treatment, and also, you know, one of my favorites that are experiences was one in LA, also through Hotel Indigo, where you had a tour of the city doing the Prohibition area. So it walks through, you know, all the spots that there's a lot of meaningful, the underground tunnels in the city that takes to the city hall, and is really something that it's very unique. It's not something that you just go find online or anything like that. So it's a very custom. So that's really what we try to ensure we can deliver with our customers, that, you know, we can match whatever wishes and desires, but these are the type of activities that we find that is very meaningful.
Yeah, I could imagine seeing or, you know, going through the old Prohibition, maybe an old speakeasy or something like that.
Exactly.
Especially during the old gangster stages, you know, Al Capone, and I'm pretty sure they had something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. So when you talk about, you know, we talked about some of the new additions to IHG. What about openings? What can my listeners expect? Are there any new openings in 2023 or 2024?
Yeah. Thankfully, we're very busy from that perspective. We have a lot of openings in the pipeline from a luxury perspective. All these brands that we discussed, they're very active, very engaged. So, for example, Six Senses, we're going to have openings, you know, in the Red Sea. We recently had announcement for Israel. You know, Six Senses Rome opening, and there's also one that we're going to actually be working here in California, a really massive resort with its own winery. So it's going to be something really spectacular. Regent also is having some really amazing openings. The Regent Phu Quoc in Vietnam, beautiful place, oceanfront. It's probably one of the most amazing resorts you can probably experience. And then also the Regent Hong Kong, which is a was originally a region Hong Kong, then it became an Intercontinental, and now it's just completing a very extensive transformation. So that's opening, that's going to be just spectacular, has beautiful views. And then of course, Intercontinental in Rome,
Okay.
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, Saudi Arabia is picking up their tourism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know they're pushing it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen any major shift in guest requests, you know, since the World Cup wasn't too far from there, you know, in Qatar? Have you seen a lot of more interest in the Middle East?
Well, most of it is the UAE, even outside of Dubai. So you're starting to see a lot of that, a lot of push there. I know Saudi Arabia is coming out with, you know, they're pushing their tourism, but Jordan is doing as well, you know. So you're starting to get that. And of course, I guess you could, this is still in Africa, but you know, it's kind of close to the region, would be Egypt. You know, you're still getting a lot of requests there.
Huh. That is great. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of growth there. You know, as you know, the accommodations and facilities in the region is just spectacular, right? It's really just amazing. Then we have a lot of openings happening in China across all the brands. We have New Kimpton in Sydney too.
All right, Australia.
Bali.
Okay. Bali is a big one. This, you know, a lot of people are looking forward to going to Bali again. I know they're opening up, and yeah, you're getting a lot of push there.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah.
And then you know, you have also vignette collection in Algarve in Portugal, and then several Hotel Indigos, you know, which is the fastest growing boutique brand that we have. A lot of domestically here, like in New Orleans, Vancouver,
New Orleans, okay,
St. Louis, Lima, Baja. So yeah, a lot of Vienna. So yeah, a lot of and Baku too. So a lot of
you're everywhere. You're everywhere, and that's the great thing. That's the great thing of really working with the IHG luxury brand. I mean, you just like you said, you're global. So not only domestic, but of course anywhere around the world, you can kind of find one of those 6 brands somewhere. And I know you just talked about Israel, and you know, I'm based in Atlanta, but now I think Delta has a direct flight to Israel now, so I know that's going to be a big push. So you know, it's everywhere. So I'm happy to know that a lot of things are growing, and you're right. I know you spoke of China, and that's when they truly open up. I know that's going to be a lot of momentum going there as well. Yeah. When it comes to, and I just wanted to kind of shift to this one. You have a lot of different brands, and it's unique to certain type of travelers.
Yes.
So could you kind of tell my listeners, how important do you feel it is to work with a travel advisor when designing their vacation?
Yeah. Listen, I think it's great for many reasons. Personally, whenever we take as a family a vacation, you know, we use travel advisor, right? Because to your point, you know, one thing is when you travel for business, you know, it become a little bit more seamless, but especially when you're thinking about something like it's very unique that you have time to explore, you're going to a destination that you don't know, that's where, you know, you bring a lot of value because being a travel planner, you know, you have access to a lot of resources, of course, a lot of connections, right? That we spoke about, these unique experience that our hotels can deliver, right? You do that in the same way, and there's a lot of things like this that you can incorporate into the planning of the trip versus waiting, right, as to when you arrive into, you know, destination. So I see that as a big opportunity, and it's really a win-win for us as well, because there's a great way to communicate with travel planners ahead of time from a hotel perspective. So we have very good understanding as to, you why the customers are traveling, right? What's the special occasion if there is one? What's important to them? How we can, right, look good and make you look good, and really take that all into account, and really make a very unique experience that it's a win-win for everyone, and just enhances the ability for them to have a fantastic experience.
Well, great. Well, I tell you, Cesar, our partnership with IHG has been very instrumental to our business, and I want to thank you. Not only is it a great properties, and my clients receive great service, but I like really talking to the different reservation managers, general managers at the resorts and hotels, and how they take care of my customers. So they give them that special touch, and let them know that that they're a guest of Showtime Travel, and wow, and they love it. I even like the because of our partnership, we have some exclusive amenities, especially through the ATC, so that we work together, and we're able to pass that along to our clients, and they really love it. So it's great, and I look forward to continuing this partnership as well. It just I'm happy that you took the time out, Cesar. I know you had you're a busy man, so I'm glad you took the time out. But before I close, is there anything that maybe I did not ask that you want to speak of regarding IHG, or is there anything you want to leave with our listeners?
Sure. Yeah. Well, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to spend some time with you. Really enjoy spending time with you, and hopefully sharing something that can be helpful to your listeners. And then really, I think what's important to know, to share from an IHG perspective is, besides all the great hotels, the brands that we strive to do, and the guests, really fantastic guest experience that we strive for every day, we really are a company that we're very focused on doing the right thing, right? So it's not only doing what's right for the business, but being great at doing business while doing what's right for the globe. So our purpose is true hospitality for good, which means taking care of the guests, our owners, our partners, and then of course our communities. So that's something that's very important to us. Diversity, equity, inclusion is something that's very embedded into our DNA. There is always room for improvement, and we know that, but that's something that we take very seriously, and that hopefully is being translated and reflected into our guests' experience. So that's really one thing that I'd like to share, that I think it's pretty important, something that we feel very proud within our company.
Well, seeing is believing. I follow you on LinkedIn, and I see what you're doing, especially when it comes to diversity and sustainability. So I like exactly what the IHG brand is doing out there, and it's really noticeable, and we appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, likewise, you do a fantastic job. Love seeing all your posts, and actually I shared with some of my colleagues in Leadership Atlanta, that is one of the groups that I'm part of, and talking about the trips that you have had to Africa and the journeys. So that's something that's very important. So thanks for that work, and keep it up.
All right, I will, and you do the same.
Yes, sir.
Well, good. Well, thank you for your time, Cesar, and I appreciate you stopping by. And remember, everybody, you deserve a luxury vacation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for listening to the You Deserve a Luxury Vacation podcast. Please visit showtimetravel.com to plan your next luxury vacation. Also subscribe to the Showtime Travel channel on YouTube and Instagram for more luxury vacation inspiration.